Hello there, it's Halo with the Armageddon Report. This is the new and improved cyclocane.com. New and improved in that previously all it had was the percentage chance of tropical cyclone formation. It had no idea if there was an active storm or not. And there is, so now it knows about that because I built that into the site or whatnot. Anyway, Tropical Storm Carlotta is alive and kicking, formerly called Tropical Depression 3E. So that now means that Tropical Storm Daniel is the next one for the Eastern Pacific. And we're still waiting on Tropical Storm Chris. So let's talk about Carlotta. You wouldn't know it by looking at the site, but Carlotta is forecast to become Hurricane Carlotta. So if you were to click on this and then click on a few things to get to the path information, and eventually I'm going to build this outright and create an interactive map. But until then, of course, you can click on this at the National Hurricane Center to get an interactive map as well. Anywho, I believe this forecast is the Friday 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time forecast. I believe that's what that H is. I only know that because I looked at the raw data and had to run numbers, and since I'm not good with numbers, it's probably not that time on Friday at all. Anyway, so yes, there is a hurricane warning. That's what the red stuff is. The pink stuff are hurricane watches. So Carlotta definitely forecast to make landfall and make problems, probably. This is where we could go back. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Under the gun, we're looking for advisories. So we click on public advisory, I believe, and down here, hazards affecting land. So it's got a breakdown of wind hazards, storm surge hazards, and rainfall. So if you are affected by that, perchance, you should totally read that. And I want to pass this information as well, so it would be easily accessible. Anyway, today in severe thunderstorm land, though, we have as high as 30% chance of winds and hail with an additional risk of significant hail, and then a 10% chance of a tornado. Let's see if I can... It's been long enough since I refreshed the page. Let's refresh it again. So, currently, only severe thunderstorm warnings, and they're all over the place. So, Minnesota and Wisconsin have one, Georgia, Louisiana right now for the severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got 2 mesoscale discussions in effect. So up here for southwestern Minnesota, southeastern South Dakota, northeastern Nebraska, and northwestern Iowa. So storms expected to develop over southwestern Minnesota by 20 to 21 Zulu, and subsequently southwestward into southeastern South Dakota and northwestern Iowa. Primary threats would be large and damaging winds. Right, so what's likely? 80%. So what did it say? It said 20, so that'd be 20 minus 5, that'd be 15. That'd be 3 o'clock Central CDT for that one. So scroll down, here we go, Nebraska and Kansas. Increasing severe weather threat with initiation likely during the next 1 to 2 hours. So right, probability of watch issuance for that one is 80% as well. So if we break it down into where the this is the wind map, I should say. So where the 30% chance is, today there's 2 of them. So Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and then Nebraska and Kansas both have as high as the 30%. So that would mean, like, if you pick this random point in Minnesota, there's nearly a 1 in 3 chance at that point, or someone within 25 miles of that point, will see a severe wind event, which would be 58 miles per hour and greater. Hail, wow. So again, we have the 2 different 30% areas and then the black hatched areas as well. So 1 inch or larger hail is possible for everybody, but in the black hatched area is where there's additional probabilities, or there's additional indicators or whatnot that say that it could be 2 inch or larger hail. That's significant hail. 10% chance of a tornado today. That is for Minnesota and Wisconsin only. However, down here we've got a 2% for a tornado as well. So obviously the biggest tornado risk would be there. So again, random point in Minnesota, that would mean that there's a 10% chance at that random point, or someone within 25 miles of them will see a tornado. So 1 in 10 odds, you know. So I don't know if you like to gamble on severe weather, do a betting pool. I have no idea. Tomorrow, slight risk. And again with the significant, so North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana for the slight risk tomorrow. And where is the significant? South Dakota and a smidge of Nebraska. So I did scan through the outlook down here, and it sounds like there may be some tornadoes possible, so I'm going to guess that the black hatched area is once again going to indicate very large hail, significant hail, 2 inches or larger, 5% down there as well. Day after tomorrow, again with a confusing map, no thunderstorm areas forecast, so we flip on over to here to day after tomorrow's probability breakdown, so 5% covering quite a few states. In fact, it actually looks a lot like today's thing, except for the fact that it's a 5% instead of having a bunch of 30s. Right, days 4 through 8 in the medium range, so again, predictability too low, which is what it's been saying for like a week or so. So that means there is severe thunderstorms on the horizon. However, timing and or location is not yet certain enough. And you can read, you know, lack of run-to-run continuity, plagues both deterministic and ensemble guidance. Right. So you can read that if you actually understand it. Well, I mean, you can read it regardless of whether you understand it or not, because, you know, you might get something out of it. So yes, I don't know. So if you're in apparently this area or this area, or this area, of course, you should definitely pay attention today. WikiWix is wickedwx.com. There's also, of course, weather.gov, Storm Prediction Center for severe thunderstorm-related stuff. If you want to follow Tropical Storm Carlotta, there's cyclocane.com, which will hopefully have even more relevant stuff soon. And if not, National Hurricane Center. And of course, if you would like to keep up with the severe weather outlook screencast thing, you probably shouldn't go to severeweathertv.com, because if you notice it says June 12th and it's what? What is it? It's the 14th. So obviously I need to update that. Anyway, but it gets updated every few days. But you can go watch the old ones if you click on daily screencasts. That's bad. We should fix that. Anyway, so you can click on those if you want to see old things as they were happening. So that's it for today. So of course pay attention in these areas or wherever you are, because you should always know what's going on just in case. And take it easy.